Hi and welcome everyone. Let's analyze the price of Bitcoin here together. Question is always, are we going up? Are we going down? So quickly, just want to analyze the price of Bitcoin. Also, let's have a look at Solana. I know a lot of people's favorite coin. Let's quickly go through Solana. I've got ZIL over here. XTZ, one of the favorites that I've been mentioning in all of my previous YouTube video updates as well. Still looking juicy to me, specifically from a spot buy perspective. No leverage trade on any of the altcoins for me at the moment. Also, let's have a quick squiz here at the Nasdaq and see what's going on there. Will Bitcoin follow? Will it, have that positive correlation to the Nasdaq? We'll just have to see. And as always, if you like this content, please support me by smashing up the like. It's your ways to show love, and subscribe so that you can get all future notifications. Let's get right into the price here. I am here on the 15-minute, and perhaps, let's just zoom out a little bit. So before we get to the 15-minute, let's zoom out here onto the 8-hour and see where we are. Okay. Quickly, I've got this green sloping trend to the upside. And all that basically yesterday happened is that we had a little flash crash to the downside, beautifully testing this momentum line. Okay, so the structure from a bullish perspective still looks intact for now. Okay, anything can happen, but for now, technically, bullish momentum to the upside remains intact. We had a beautiful retest as we have multiple touches on this trend line. We came down, we retested it, grabbing liquidity. It's all about grabbing liquidity, shorts and longs, resetting the funding rates, and now we are currently back inside the symmetrical triangle. So zooming into the symmetrical triangle, we are still waiting for that decision either to the upside or to the downside, where here we had a massive fake out to the upside, then a little fake out to the downside, now back in the symmetrical triangle. Also, basic rules of patterns when you start out is to say that generally speaking, about 70 to 75% into the pattern is when the official breakout takes place. Okay, usually statistic wise is that when you have a breakout at the 50% mark or at the 60% mark, it generally is a fake out to either the upside or to the downside, where in this case we actually had it both ways. So nice little liquidity, and now we're back inside the range. Okay, so still that key decision point is, are we going to break up or are we going to break down? Okay, and I think a clear invalidation for me is that if we do lose this triangle, I want to see, for a confirmation, I want to see us lose this momentum line as well. Perhaps a breakout or a breakdown with a retest for the scene of the crime, and then further continuation to the downside, even to come and test this trend line that I have down here. And just to show everyone, where do I just take the scribble out the way. That trend line comes all the way. Let's see, let's zoom out. Okay, from the start of the bull run, just connecting these little lows. Okay, this is where that trend line comes from. So perhaps if we do lose this momentum trend line and we break down from here, definitely a possible bouncing area for continuation to the upside. Okay, so just keeping that in mind. So no Elliott wave theory today, just keeping it simple: support, resistance, trend lines. And many successful traders out there only use trend lines. Believe it or not, it's about how you manage your risk that makes you a successful trader and keeps you in the game. Okay, cool. So taking the brushes out the way, definitely looking at this area. If we do lose this momentum trend line, I don't mind being late for the short. I would rather have a confirmed short than trying to catch the top and bleeding out my account from a risk management perspective before we potentially come and hit this level, or we find continuation to the upside and you add to your position to try and find the short, which never comes, and by the time it eventually falls, rolls over and falls down, you have 80% less capital of where you started at. So just some education here. And I do promise, one person did actually ask me to make a video on proper risk management. So I will be putting something like that together, basic video about risk management. If you'd like to to know more detail about trading and proper risk management, I will still put a link down in the description to join our trading community where we share, myself and my colleague Andy share daily analysis and take everyone through the trading strategies that we like to use, swing failure patterns, trendline strategies, volume strategies, and how to apply proper risk management so that you can stay in the game and become a profitable trader month after month after month, trading any cycle. Okay, you don't just want to make money in the bull market. You want to be able, as a successful trader, to make money during any market cycle. Cool. Enough of that. Let's take the brushes out the way and zoom into this little structure over here. So back onto the 4 hour. What do we see over here? Okay, currently back inside this triangle. The one scenario that I am keeping in mind is to say that the ETFs will be launched next week, 10th of Jan. Where's the 10th of Jan? Right over here. So let's put a horizontal in there so that we can all pay attention to, or a vertical line, not a horizontal, a vertical line. Okay, that's the ETF news. Cool. Which also is in alignment with when you're going to have either the breakdown or the break up. Okay, and also more than 70% of the pattern will be completed, so whichever move then takes place has a higher probability of being the real move taking or playing out. The one thing I also am keeping in mind is to say that this could have been the high, and now we are busy with the corrective structure to the downside, eventually losing this trend. Or bullish scenario is we are going to start finding strength and come and claim the yearly highs to go to that $50,000 level that everyone's eyeing out. Okay, cool. So zooming into the 15-minute, what am I seeing over here? Okay, we are currently inside this value area range. Okay, drawn from the first green candle up until where we are now. Let's just make sure that it's all the way complete. Cool. Okay, I want to see us break out of this structure with relatively high volume and consolidate on top, and even breaking through this resistance, which is that triangle, okay, for momentum to the upside. Okay, otherwise we are just going to stay in the range, and you reach the top, you short, you reach the bottom, even the bottom over here, you long. Okay, you short the top, you short the top, you long the bottom. Okay, because we could stay inside of this triangle until the 10th. Zoom in. Where's that horizontal line? There. Okay, we could literally, one scenario that I am keeping in mind is we could literally be ranging, and then finally have the decision to the upside or to the downside. We'll just have to observe how this takes place. Definitely one scenario that I'm keeping in mind. And then also for momentum to the upside, I want to see us break through this value area high with relatively high green volume. I don't see any green volume kicking in at the moment. So for us to remain bullish, break out of structure, break through this trend line, consolidating perhaps on top for momentum to the upside to continue. And even then, okay, small little scalps, playing the range level to level. If I go and switch on my daily levels, we printed a fresh daily level over here. Yeah, depending on which exchange you trade, 44,979.80, give or take a couple of dollars. Okay, cool. And I've also included this diagonal to the upside is to say that, well, if we do find strength here to the upside and we start moving up, how are we going to react firstly to the trend and to this daily level? Could this be a fake out for a massive correction back down to this trend again? So definitely keeping an eye on this level. You want to see us break through this level, consolidate above for continuation to the upside, even to come and claim the yearly highs. Okay, cool. And that's basically it on Bitcoin. Let's jump into everyone's favorite, and people have been asking me for this one. Just clean up this chart quickly. Solana. Okay, and maybe before we dive into Solana, if you would like to trade with me, please, down in the description below, I can show you down here. is I have Bybit, one of my favorite exchanges that I like to use. Please use my affiliate links to sign up and register, trade with me. There's a $30,000 bonus if I'm not mistaken, and it gets given to you as you trade. The same with Mexi. I think it's a $20,000 bonus that's provided, and it gets airdropped as you trade, and it costs you nothing, and it helps support this channel. Okay, let's get back into Solana. So from a high time frame perspective, Solana still looks very bullish. It hasn't lost any structures. I've been tracking this momentum to the upside. You'll see I have multiple trend lines in here where I've played the breakouts. And here you can see, just interestingly, if in order to be a successful trader, you could literally use trend lines, resistance and support. And even just trend lines if you don't want to include resistance to support, where I have mentioned you had a break of trend. Okay, momentum to the upside, break of trend, momentum to the upside, break of trend, momentum to the upside. So by using one simple trend line, you could have ridden or benefited from this entire move so far to the upside, where I've been tracking momentum to the upside, breaking through, also breaking through, and now finally where we are right now, I am now tracking this momentum. Okay, is to say that, well, for me to remain bullish, I ideally don't want to see us lose this support. Okay, we are on a bit of a symmetrical triangle over here, and I've connected the highs. Keeping it simple is to say you want to keep or maintain the support, potentially closing candles below the support and not being able to find acceptance back above, either a test for a re-attempt to break through, and if we're not successfully going to break through this resistance, then we could find ourselves finally losing the momentum for a nice short to the downside. Okay, cool. So for now, the structure still remains bullish, where you want to see us hold the support, and we'll see what happens when we get to this symmetrical triangle. Will it be another successful breakout, as we've had many of them on this move up? The one thing that is a little bit concerning to me, just keeping it in mind, is this, in your case, red volume, in my case, purple volume. And when you see high volume like this kicking in, which is higher than the previous green candles, it could be a reversal sign. Okay, so very important to observe the price reaction in this little support area. And also, if we do break up, will it be a fake out for acceptance back below the trend for continuation to the downside? Okay, cool. So just keeping it simple, Zilica still within structure. I'm still tracking on the daily, still tracking this momentum to the downside. You can see we've broken out from this massive downsloping trend, and it's one of those altcoins that hasn't run yet, but it's been slowly grinding to the upside. So really just waiting for Bitcoin to make its decision. And with this dump that we had yesterday, you can see that we broke the trend, but we found acceptance back above the level. Okay, and this could also be considered as a retest of, oops, let me just redo that, grab my Koki. This could also be considered a retest of this trend. Okay, you break out, you retest for continuation to the upside. So from a spot bag perspective, it still looks okay. It still looks great. Market structure hasn't been broken. And usually, you know, you want to buy up fear. When people are fearful, we're going down, things looks bearish, we need to sell, that's when you need to buy. And when people are greedy and it's going to, you know, when people start sending you screenshots of their great trades that they've been making, that's usually the time to take profit. Okay, but still, Zilica looks good. I'm a bit concerned about this volume, but it could have been just a nice liquidity grab. For now, continuation to the upside where nice green volume will start kicking in. Okay, also XTZ hasn't lost structure as yet. Beautiful retest of this trend line. We wicked, grabbed liquidity. We're now back above. If we can hold this momentum to the upside and break this symmetrical triangle, I think it's still a beautiful spot buy. We've just also, when you go onto the daily, broken this downsloping trend line that I've been tracking. Okay, so still lagging behind. And lastly, the Nasdaq. What is happening with the Nasdaq 100? I don't trade it, but it's just interesting to see that we have a beautiful cup and handle situation going on here. And if the Nasdaq is going to remain exceptionally bullish, that could feed into what Bitcoin's next move might be. Okay, so here you can clearly see a nice cup. We've made the handle, we've broken out, and from a technical perspective, you will then measure your move from the bottom of the cup to the top of the cup, put it on your handle, and that is then your projected move. Okay, let's just do it. To be conservative, you want to do it from the neckline, where I'm doing it here from the downsloping trend when we broke out. Okay, so to be conservative, we're looking at $20,788 if this scenario plays out. So currently it just looks like we found momentum to the upside. This could be a beautiful retest for continuation. Okay, cool. We haven't lost the support, which is now support. Let me change the color actually. Make it green. So for those of you that are trading commodities like the Nasdaq, it still looks bullish to me as long as we can hold the support over here. And would be interesting to see if Bitcoin follows suit, to say that we had a healthy correction, which we did yesterday on Bitcoin, and we're now going to start finding continuation to the upside. Okay, that's basically it from my side today. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Until the next update, just for now.